tankers, and welcome back to another one of my videos. Today we're going to be talking about the Retinal Skorpion G and comparing it to the WZ-120, the Jagdpanther 2, and the RHM with the stock gun. Now the damage per minute on the Retinal Skorpion is 2,848, which is just 50 less than the WZ, but it is also 200 less than the Jagdpanther 2. But it beats the RHM by a whopping 500. The penetration on all three of the German tanks are the same, but the WZ has 2 more. The Alpha is also 60 more than the WZ, but because of that, the WZ gets a higher rate of fire. The aiming time, though, on the Skorpion is where this tank makes up for its lacking in other abilities, where it only has a 1.72 second aim time, where the WZ has the same. The Jagdpanther 2 actually has a longer, and the RHM has the same as the Jagdpanther. The dispersion is also much better than the other two tanks, and the depression is about average. The aiming arc, though, is great because it's a turreted tank destroyer. It can aim 360 degrees, unlike any of the other tanks except for the RHM. The movement, it can go 55 forwards and 20 backwards. The WZ can go 50, the Jagdpanther 2 can go 55, and the RHM goes 35. Although the RHM actually turns much quicker than the Skorpion. One of the problems with the Skorpion I've encountered is that the Skorpion barely ever reaches top speed, topping in at about 40 to 35 because its terrain resistances are so bad, as you can see when compared to the WZ and the Jagdpanther. The credit coefficient for the WZ and the Retinal Skorpion has not been posted yet because they are new tanks, but the Jagdpanther 2 earns a big 88%, and the RHM earns 78%, which is a big difference. Some of the average 30-day win rates for this tank, the Skorpion actually has lower than the WZ, which is expected from me since the WZ is probably the best tank you can buy when it comes back out. The average damage is actually just a couple lower. The kill ratio, the WZ, as you can tell, is definitely the best out of all these tanks, but the Skorpion does do way better than the two normal tech tree tanks. Now let's go check out the armor profile. So you can see on Armor Inspector that this tank has absolutely no armor. And it's true, because when you're aiming at the front, the thickest this armor will ever get is 50. Which means that T-34s, IS-5s, anything that aims at you will be penning. The little cheeks here are 30, that means like AMXs can pen you. Your sides are 16 to like 20, and your turret is only 17 to 18, so your turret will be HE'd by any single thing that aims at them, and they can also hit you before they hit them because they can aim at your turret while you can't even see them. Surprisingly, though, the rear actually has more armor than the sides, but it's not going to make much of a difference in the battlefield. Now let's get stuck into some Ace Tanker gameplay. The first replay we have here is on Castilla. As you can see, we are against an AMX 1390, a T-34 1776, a VK 100P, another one, the overpowered Gravedigger, an SU 152, and a T6 Dracula. You can also see that I am giving everybody seizures and epilepsy by moving the screen around too much. Now, Castilla is one of the best maps for the Skorpion because of its amazing accuracy. It can drive up to the hill on the ridgeline over here and shoot at all the tanks that go over to, I think it's A. So, while my friend over here, Dustin, in the AMX M449, I told him to go spot for me, I tried to drive up this hill, but obviously failed. Now, I'm going to go camp up here, and immediately, as soon as I get over this ridge, the target gets spotted, and I get my first shot of the game. So, you can see a T-34, a VK, and a Gravedigger pushing. So I'm going to take a shot at this Gravedigger, and as you can see, the amazing aiming time already aims in on him. Somehow I get spotted though, and as you can see, the 0 armor on this tank has brought me down to 50 health already. Now, as you can tell, this tank cannot withstand any hits. And not to mention, some of those shots didn't even pen me with HE. 2 shots from a VK with HE and this tank's dead. So now I'm pretty much having to be careful this entire game as I track that AMX. Now, you can probably guess I'm pretty frustrated at this point. Probably thinking I'm just gonna die. I might commit suicide in this game. But I decide to keep going forwards and commit. So I fire a shell into that T-34, 456. And as you can tell, the quick reload on this tank gets another shell into him, finishing him off with 496. So now I'm going to aim at that VK, and I'm going to get some revenge. Fortunately, it bounces. Now, as of right now, I was so angry at that VK for yelling at me. I was just trying to pen him, ignoring the one right in front of me, which was a very stupid mistake. Now, I'm going to push out and try to get this VK, and the accuracy misses again. So far this game isn't going too well, but luckily this Gravedigger stops right in front of me. But I decide to pass him up and shoot that VK just to get some revenge and tell him in the chat. Now I see there's an AMX pushing, and I do see that T6 Dracula flanking over on the hill. Now, pretty much right now, I think I'm going to die from that AMX. But I do know that we're both one-shots. I'm aiming at that Dracula, though, because I do know my Panther M10 is most likely going to die. And if I don't kill this AMX, I'm going to have to deal with the Panther M10 and the Dracula, which is not two tanks you want to deal with. Unfortunately, again, I bounced the AMX 1390, which gets me even more frustrated knowing now that the T6 Dracula just killed my teammate. Now, my friend Dustin is still alive, and he's still telling me about the tanks that are trying to flank me on the heavy side as he's holding them off. Now, I clear that AMX 1390, and now I'm pushing on the T6 Dracula as I snap a shell into his rear with the amazing accuracy of this gun. So, now I figure that that Dracula is either going to try and flank me, and I should either run away or chase him. And knowing that this tank has 0 armor, it's not fast enough to catch up, I will try and help out the heavies for the last bit of health they have. So I see the SG-152 is, I think, AFK. So I fire a shell into him, I put on my fast reloader, and I snap another shell into him, and I let my friend finish him off, but unfortunately he misses the shell. So as you can tell, the rate of fire on this tank is so good, I'm able to fire 3 shells and fully kill that tank before my teammates are even ready to reload. Now the reason I stopped there instead of pulling up immediately, and I'm still stopping here, is because I know that if that T6 Dracula is camping up on the castle up there where my Panther M10 died, he can spot me and pretty much one-shot me with any shell he fires, with ease. So now I'm thinking that we're going to win this game, but I still want to play a little careful and try to help out my team. So I'm going to try and get the first shot in, and somehow Dracula bounces a shell on the front of my trap. And now I'm going to try and chase him down while he's running away. So this is where the top speed of 55 is pretty good on this tank. As you can see, I reached 34, which is RHM's top speed. Now I do dunk that shell into the dirt, but I do have enough time to reload again. But as you can see, now I'm only an APCR. As this tank's rate of fire is so good, I'm actually running out of shells. Now the Dracula kills my friend, and I don't like that, so I snap a shell into him. Now this was an ace taker gameplay with about 4.2k damage. And as you could see, the Skorpion's weakness was having 0 armor, where as soon as I got spotted in the beginning of the game, before they even lightbulb popped up, I lost all of my health and was brought down to 50 hit points. Fortunately, I used the amazing accuracy and I kept my peace and managed to do 4.2k. This next battle I did was the best battle I have ever done this tank, and I did it about 3 hours ago with this clan CKZ in a tournament. Now, I'm not going to share what happens, but this is one of the most nerve-wrenching tournament games you'll probably ever see. And me and my good friend Death over here are going to bomb it in these tank destroyers. So now the main camping spot for a Skorpion is up on this hill right ahead of my tank. And we're against an AMX, an IS-5, 2 ISUs, which can be very deadly for a Skorpion, Super Pershing, T-34, and a WZ. Which means that I need to be careful, because all these tanks can hit me pretty hard. Now, judging that this tank's so accurate, most of my shots should go in now. Now, I do see the T-26 and the AMX 1390 over there, and now I'm going to watch my mediums try and kill them, as I'm just going to sit here and not do much. Fortunately, as you saw before on these stats, the bullet speed on this tank isn't very fast compared to the WZ. So the shell unfortunately misses because it was a little slow. So now you can see that their entire team is pushing there, which we predicted. So we already lost a tier 8 tank, so we're already down. And unfortunately, as you can tell again, the shell speed on this tank just isn't great. So it misses again. But one nice thing is the accuracy on this tank, as I whiff a shell into the lower plate of that WZ. So now I'm in this tank's prime, because I've got easy targets that I'm aiming at, as I'm trying to pen a shell into the side of that T-34's turret, as it goes flush through. So I notice this IS-5 pushing over here, and I'm hoping that he does not push over around the hill at where I'm sitting, down there, because if he does, I can get hit. But fortunately, I do shoot that IS-5 for 504. Now I do notice this AMX pushing over here. Fortunately, I have not been spotted this entire game yet. So I'm going to shoot an HE at this AMX and screw it up. But that's okay, because I got plenty more mess-ups on this AMX again. So I'm going to mess up another HE on this AMX. And he's going to clip me out, and I'm fine with that, because now he has to reload his entire clip. And now I notice that AP rounds is enough to finish him off, and I've got my WZ friend, who should hopefully kill him, but unfortunately brings him down to 3 health. I do think the AMX was fed up though, and just tried to push and shoot me, which didn't go very well. Now, I do know that the spotting time to go undetected is about 9 seconds, so I wait for my tank's camo to reset, and now I'm going to push up this hill, and I'm going to try and get shots on this Super Pershing. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't very skilled at driving up that hill and mess up. Also, I have no clue how that shell bounced, because that was a very good aimed shell right in the side, and it looked like it bounced off the rear of his turret. Now you can see again, I'm getting ready for some sort of tank to push around this corner and probably shoot me, killing me. But I really screw up the shell as I'm going to track him. Now that was really unfortunate for me, judging that that tank has very good damage per minute and a very fast reload for 300 damage. But he plays the tank very stupid as I'm baiting him out for my WZ friend to kill him. But I do see the ISU camping back there, so I'm going to push on this guy, and hopefully he did not HE me and dumped his shell into the dirt. So now I do see this ISU, and I see that T-26, and I want to load a shell into him. But again, the aiming time is good, but the shell velocity is not good enough. So my friend helps me shoot this IS-5, and since I'm the tank destroyer, I have a much quicker reload than him. I'm going to load an HE, shoot him, and I somehow managed to bounce that T-34 on the side. I also know I have a quicker reload than him, so I'm going to rush him and load a shell into him. Now you can see at the top that the timer is 935, and they have 735. And I'm going to shoot this T-26, light him on fire for 640. And now we're at 990. But I really, unfortunately, try and get the shell, and that ISU just manages to clip the edge of my track with this tank, killing me. So now we've got our friend who we think is going to die from that other ISU, but my guess is he's camping all the way on that back corner spot where he's most likely to be. So now, since he's in the WZ and he's so low down, he's just going to hide behind the Super Pershing, and he wins this game really close. And that is how you play a Skorpion and a WZ together. Now, the finishing results of this game, I did 5,500. My friend did 1K, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is, because if he wasn't there, I would have been dead, and we needed each other to complete that game. Overall, I do not think the Skorpion is worth the money, just because it is a crate tank, and I think the crate tanks are a stupid system because it cost me $180 plus taxes to get this tank, and over 100 crates, which is really dumb, and I think Wargaming should really rethink their strategies on making money. But I do think that this is a good tank. My opinion, you should wait for it to come out in the store. It'll probably be about $50, and maybe it'll come out in about 4 or 5 months. Thanks for watching my video, and go check out some of my other videos.